Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Systemizing Your Business. My name is Amanda Fraser. I'm the Administrative Assistant here at Simple Desk. A little bit about me. I got my Honors Bachelor of Business Administration at Wilfrid Laurier University, and I went on to work for various companies in supply chain management, office management, customer service, as well as a little bit in the finance industry. And now I work at Simple Desk helping clients systemize their businesses or set up processes that streamline their tasks so they can get back to doing what they love and the reason they started their business. So this is what we'll go over today. We'll go over what a business system is. We'll talk a little bit about the benefits of setting up business systems. We'll go over the client journey and how that relates to creating processes. And then we'll get into the meat of how do we create a system. Before we dig in, here's a simple definition of what a business system is: a procedure, process, or method designed to achieve a specific result. So before you get overwhelmed by, oh, I need all these systems, just keep in mind that there's already a way that you do things. There's already a particular way you tackle a task, and documenting these systems is just taking it to the next level. It's just thinking about how you accomplish those tasks, writing them down, like documenting them, and perhaps once you see it on paper, maybe there's a better way to do it and you can be more efficient. So don't get overwhelmed. So there's so many benefits of having systems in your business. These are the top four, I would say. The first one is strategy. So when you have systems and processes in place for like the more mundane tasks, or even decision trees for the more complex tasks, you can focus more of your energy on strategically steering your business. You can focus on the opportunities that present themselves instead of being buried in the everyday tasks and the administration of running a business. So it really allows you to be the strategist again and make those top level decisions with the administrative things kind of out of the way. Efficiency, you can get things done more effectively when you have a process that you're following, whether it's a checklist or a step-by-step, do this and then do that if this happens. So you can do things, you can tackle tasks more effectively and with efficiency if you have it written down and handy, like you have it when you need to tackle those tasks. Consistency. If you follow the same checklist every time, you're more likely to get consistent results. If you have a grocery list, if you don't write it down and have a checklist, chances are you're going to take longer at the grocery store and you're not going to get everything that you need for your meal plan. Contrast that with having a clear checklist as to what you need at the grocery store. You can get in and out of there faster and have consistently better results midweek, not missing some key ingredients for your meals. And your clients will really appreciate the consistency. If they know what to expect every time they come to your business, they will keep returning. They know what to expect. Number 4 is value. Some of the most successful businesses are the ones that are highly systemized and process driven. So if an investor is looking to purchase a company, they're way more likely to pay more money and to be more determined to get a business that has these systems in place, because they can be confident that the important information is written down and not stuck in the entrepreneur's head. They know that the business is running itself like a well-oiled machine, as opposed to relying on key people to keep the success going. So whether you're looking to sell or not, it just increases the value of your company. And honestly, it'll give you more time as well. So let's look at the client journey. Going through the client journey: advertising, sales, client onboarding, service delivery, and repeat and refer. You can think about how each client, or how your perfect client, makes their way through that journey. What touch points do they have with you? How do they interact with your business as they're going through that journey? And write down any important tasks that have to happen for a positive result. So advertising: how are you reaching out to how are your clients finding out about you? Sales: how are you bringing your client from discovery to commitment? client onboarding, how are you holding your client's hand and giving them the confidence that you're going to take care of them? How are you delivering your product or service to your clients? And how are you encouraging repeat business or referrals? So this is the journey that the client goes on, and you can identify tasks that directly affect the client through that journey. Then you can also think about putting those into departments: marketing, sales, operations, and administration and management. And this is a way to realize that there's going to be forward-facing tasks, how you directly interact with your client. Those are the ones you want to focus on first, because you want to have your client at the forefront of everything that you do. There's going to be things that happen in the background that allow you to be more present and allow you to deliver a better service or a better product to your customer. And those are important too, but focus first on the tasks that directly relate to your client. And if you're a solopreneur, this might seem like a bit much. I'm the only person that does these things. I don't need marketing department, sales department. I'm telling you, if you divide it into departments, it just allows you to think more clearly. And when you decide to scale, when your business grows and you hire someone on or you outsource certain parts of your business, having things set up in departments is going to help a whole ton. So let's have a look at some systems that you will have in your you should have in your tool belt. So dividing by departments, again, marketing, sales, operations, admin, and management. Here are some sample systems that you should consider having or that you should think about. Market research, advertising, email marketing. These are all ways that you can reach out to your future clients. These are all the ways for you to be present and attract those potential clients. Sales, again, how you manage those relationships once a lead reaches out to you. Operations, how you develop and deliver your product or service. Admin and management, how you manage the paperwork side, the accounting, reporting, anything strategic would fall under there. So this is just kind of an overview, a broad overview of the types of systems that you should consider implementing that will help you out as you grow and scale your business. So now that we've gone over the different types of systems that you can create that will help you find success in your business, how do you create them? So there's a few key components of every system that you should have. Number one is you want to define a clear objective. So whether it's reaching a new market or whether it's how do I onboard clients, whatever it is, you want to define a clear objective. What is this? What's the goal of this process? Number two, you want to document the steps. So at first, it might seem more like a brainstorming session because you might not follow a linear step or a linear process at the moment. However, that is the end goal. So when thinking about the clear objective, write down everything that you would do. And when you see it written down on paper, you'll have an easier time putting it in chronological order. Put it in a linear step-by-step way on how to complete that task. The last thing you want to add is helpful material. So this could be an email template. If you send out the same thing every time you onboard a client, maybe you want to have an email template. Or if you send out the same invoice, the same email when you send out invoices, maybe have a template on hand so that you don't need to constantly retype or rewrite things. This could also be a tutorial. So for example, if you only do something once a month and you need a bit of a refresher as to how you accomplish that task, create yourself a little video. And when you pull up your manual to complete that task, you can watch that little video as a refresher. So you can add those things into the helpful material section of your business system, your process. One thing I will mention is it's way easier to work in pairs. With many clients that I've worked on their systems with, it's really hard to do it by yourself. It's things that you do without thinking. It's just second nature to you. You've been doing it. This is just a part of your daily routine or your weekly routine. So working in pairs will allow you to see gaps in your system or will allow you to be like, oh, I should write that down, because not everybody, if I went on vacation and I hired somebody to come in, they wouldn't do this naturally like I do. So I'm going to write that down. It is really helpful to work in pairs. So let's have a look at an example. This one here is on client onboarding. So we have our objective, client onboarding. We have the instructions, send the welcome email and invoice, schedule a strategy meeting, outline the process to complete the contracted work, send the deliverables, always before the deadline. You want to exceed the expectations of your clients, and send client testimonial questionnaire. So when you've completed all the work for a client, it's really important to ask for feedback. Number one, it shows that you are in tune, like it shows that you are listening. And then you could get valuable information from that. You could improve the client journey for the next person. So it's an important step. Always send a questionnaire or request feedback when you've completed sending your deliverables. And here in the extra resources, email and invoice template, it's going to be similar or the same every time. So we've included that, and the questionnaire template. Again, when you're done sending the deliverables, and your final email can include that questionnaire. And these could be links. Like if you have this on a document in your Google Drive or whatever on your desktop, whatever it is, you can hyperlink that so it takes you right to the template. Or you can have these templates right in your email, for example. There's many ways to do it, but the important thing is to recognize that you can have a resource like that and save yourself time. The last thing on here is the revision date. So you've just put in the last time you've updated it, and that just kind of shows you that it's still relevant. And that way, if you outsource or hire somebody in the future, that's going to become really, really important so that they know that it's up to date before they follow it. So let's talk about where to store these systems. It's really important to have them on hand where you need them when you're doing those tasks. So here is an example on how to set up your file structure so that you always know where things are. Again, it's divided into the departments: marketing, sales, operations, admin. Now everybody's going to potentially set it up a little bit differently. This is just one example, but a really important one is having a collection box. We've all been there where we're working on a file and we're not exactly sure where its permanent home will be. Instead of trying to put it somewhere where we think we might look for it later, keep it in the collection box. And, after a couple of days, after a week, it might be clear as to where its permanent home should be. When you're setting up a system like this, it's important to think about where you would look when you're trying to retrieve that document. When you're working on that document and clicking save, you can choose whatever. That's not the hard part. The hard part is when you need that document and when you want to recall that information, you want it to be in a place where you can find it quickly and easily. So think about where you would look for it if you're looking for it in the future. Where would future me look for this document? And that's kind of how you want to set it up. And quick tip, every platform that you work on, whether it's Canva, Google Drive, OneDrive, set it up similar so that no matter which platform you're in, it will just become second nature as to where to find those specific files. Measure your success. This one's really important. I think at the beginning, sometimes we don't tend to set these key performance indicators at the forefront, but it's really important to steer your business. You want to know how you're doing in different aspects of your business in order to improve, in order to take it to the next level, and just in order to make good business choices. So here is an example of just a few key performance indicators that you could keep track of and measure your success. Number of clients, the dollar figure of the sales, the expenses, the number of referrals, or engagement. So this will tell you if you're making good choices for your business. If you're focused on increasing the number of clients, then you could increase your advertising, you could run a promotion, you could do those things and see the effect on the number of clients you get on a month-to-month basis. Perhaps you want to run a referral program. You can see the effect of that referral program by keeping track of the number of referrals that you're getting month by month. So it's really important to think about what you want to measure and then check in every month or more often, maybe every 2 weeks, depending on which metrics that you've chosen, and keep track. This could be on paper, on an Excel document, a spreadsheet, or even just a Word document, for example. But it's important to keep track, and that way you know whether your efforts are producing the results that you're looking for, and where you can improve and what you can do differently to get the results that you want. So it would be shame to talk about systemizing your business and not touch on task management. This seems to be this is how you change your mindset. Everything that comes into your business, every piece of information, every email, every idea that pops into your head can follow this process, and you can be sure that you're not letting things fall between the cracks, and that you're actioning the right things. So the Kanban method is one way to do it. This is the way that I found to resonate with most clients. This is one place to record all your thoughts and ideas. So anything that comes in, any idea, task, it can go into the idea or the backlog column. Then when you set time aside to go through that, whether it's every morning or twice a week or weekly, you can prioritize the things on that list and move them to the to-do section, the to-do list. Schedule time to complete those tasks, add action steps, think about what you need to get those done, and put them in your calendar, put those subtasks in your calendar, and you move the task through to completion. So I like to work in Trello. There's so many applications out there that do similar things. I find this to be quite simple and user-friendly. So everything that comes in goes into my backlog. I move it to this schedule, and I put time in my calendar, or I write down who I need to collaborate with to complete that task. When I'm actively working on it, it goes into the in progress. And at the end of the week, I see everything in the done list, and I can give myself a pat on the back and clear my list for the next week. So I highly recommend implementing some form of this method to handle your tasks that come through. And never underestimate the power of the checklist. Like I said before with the grocery list, if you have a clear checklist on what you need to do, it just gets done. If there's a task on there that if you say, I have to go grocery shopping, but you don't have your meal plan and you don't have your list and you don't have a clear idea of exactly what's involved, it's going to take longer and you're going to push off that task. But if you have the manual, it's I got to go grocery shopping, I have an hour and a half to do it, here's my checklist, you're way more likely to do it quickly and just get out of there and can check that off your list. So it's important to create checklists where they're needed and divide any task that feels maybe a bit daunting into subtasks that feel manageable, that when you look at that task, you know exactly what it involves, how much time it'll take, and where to start. And there are automations that can help you with some of this, but I also want to caution you that an automation is only as good as the process that it follows. So you have to have your method first before you implement an automation. There's no system that's going to take away your mundane tasks if you don't have a process that you want it to follow. It can only implement the solutions that you tell it to. So focus on the process oriented, focus on what you want to happen. If you were doing it manually, what would you do? And once you have that, you can see, can I implement an automation to take this piece away from my to-do list? So there are things like, if you've booked a time with a client, or if a client has booked some time with you and you want to send an automatic email a certain amount of time, an hour before or 24 hours before, to remind them of the meeting, that's certainly an automation that would help. You can click the flag to receive reminder to follow up. So if you receive an email and maybe you've replied and you're not sure if they're going to respond back to you, and you want to make sure that you follow up 3 days later, set yourself a reminder. So these kind of automations, now that you know what your process is, you can set this automation and you can define rules to sort your inbox. So for example, if you have newsletters that you receive that you find helpful, but maybe they don't require your action, right? They don't require your attention. You can have those promotional newsletters in a certain folder that automatically gets sorted. And when you need that information, you know where to find it, but it's not cluttering up your inbox. So there's certain automations that can help you. But again, there's no magic in it, right? The other one I wanted to mention was Calendly, scheduling applications like Calendly. There are other softwares that do this. I find Calendly, again, nice and user friendly. Makes it easy for clients to book time with you. So if that's a part of your business, I would consider checking out Calendly. And to finish off the presentation, I wanted to focus on this quote from Michael Gerber. What makes people work is an idea worth working for, along with a clear understanding of what needs to be done. So if you think about it, you started your business for a reason. You have a passion. You have an idea worth working for. If you set yourself up a clear understanding of what needs to be done for each of those tasks, then you will be off to the races. Nothing can stop you because you have a vision and you have the steps to get there. If you're not clear on how to get there, that's where you're going to be hung up. So if any of this resonates with you, I would highly recommend the book, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It's an older book. It still rings true today, though, and there's been other books based on this, and it's quite helpful. Anyway, I'm going to finish the presentation by giving you my contact information. If you want to reach out, if any of this resonates with you and you want to start working on systemizing your business, or even just a quick call to see if something would be, if I could help you start the process, my email is amanda@simpledesk.ca. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out, and I will see you in the next one.